Hi guys, welcome back. To win a hostile workplace claim, one of the things, and not the only thing, but one of the things we have to prove is that what happened to us was severe and pervasive, to the point of changing the terms and conditions of our employment and creating a work environment that was abusive. What that means is subjective. What's severe? When does their behavior become pervasive? And what does abusive mean in the context of a work environment? That's the stuff we have to think through to document our hostile workplace claim. So today, I wanted to talk about it. In order for EEOC to consider harm severe, it has to be serious and significant. There are a few questions we can ask ourselves to suss it out for our situation. How egregious was their behavior? Threats to our physical safety, highly offensive language, and dehumanizing slurs are all highly egregious behaviors and all contribute to severity. Did it harm our physical or mental health? To establish this, we have to show that what our employer did actually caused the harm. Within a couple months after I retired and finally got out of that toxic environment, a lot of my symptoms almost entirely disappeared. My AJ said that he found my testimony and my husband's on that point credible, but just in case, we also had some backup, and we'll talk a little bit more about that in a minute. Did it interfere with our work performance? If it was so bad that we couldn't do our job, it's more likely to be seen as severe. Did it happen in front of others? Harassment that happens in front of other people can be humiliating, and that's likely to be seen as more severe than if the same thing happened behind closed doors. Now let's talk about pervasiveness, which is basically about three things. Did it persist over a long period of time? Think months or even years here. How frequently did it happen? Daily? Weekly? Sporadic events, even if they're severe, probably won't be seen as pervasive and therefore could mess up our chances of winning. And how widespread was the behavior? Was it just that one perpetrator who was always acting out? Did your coworkers pile on? Did the rest of your chain of command? All of that contributes to a finding of pervasiveness. Although the legal standard is technically severe or pervasive, from what I've seen, EEOC considers severity and pervasiveness as a set, and we generally have to establish both of them in order to prevail on a hostile workplace claim. So let's say that we've been able to establish that what happened to us was both severe and pervasive. Does that mean it's abusive? And the law says, yeah, if it was so severe and pervasive that it changed the terms and conditions of our employment and created an abusive working environment. In other words, to keep working there, did we have to do things, put up with things, or accept rules that were degrading, intimidating, or threatening to us in some way? My boss denied me access to basic human hygiene almost every day for close to 2 years. Was it severe? Yeah. Being denied basic hygiene is dehumanizing, and being dehumanized is not good for your mental health. And I was physically sick a lot because poor hygiene, the stress of working under those conditions, and my immune deficiency didn't play well together. And the poor hygiene also interfered with my ability to do my work, because in that condition, I didn't feel like I should be around other people any more than I had to. And I was a manager. My job was working with people. And it changed the terms and conditions of my employment because poor hygiene became something that I just had to accept if I wanted to keep working there. And like I already said, it was dehumanizing. And dehumanizing behavior is by definition degrading. It was intimidating because my boss had the full support of every NASA official that I asked for help. And it was threatening because, as bad as it was, I knew that if they really wanted to, they could make it worse. After we've assessed our situation, we have to think through how we can prove the points that we need to. And again, our testimony is part of the evidence we need, but we also need to document the facts of our story. I documented the fact that I was denied basic hygiene with a lot of emails to my boss and the diversity manager complaining about it, and I was lucky enough to have some documentation from them justifying what they'd done. And I documented the impact on my physical and mental health with letters from my therapist and doctor. They laid out the changes to my health that they saw and correlated their observations to what I'd told them was happening at work at the time. And they also shared the improvements that they observed just a couple months after I retired when I got out of that toxic environment. That went a long way toward proving what happened to me was severe. There are some things that we don't have to prove with documentation, places where our testimony is evidence enough. One thing about a hostile workplace claim is they're looking for blatantly egregious patterns of behavior that occurred over a long period of time and happen very frequently, things that are so bad that anybody would find them harmful. Therefore, if we lay out our scary story and prove the central facts of that story with documentation, then a reasonable judge is probably going to believe us when we say that we were harmed by it. Now, if you're in the middle of a hostile workplace claim right now, the first thing I recommend you do is lay out your case in terms of how what happened to you was severe, pervasive, and abusive, like we mentioned earlier in this video. Then focus on documenting everything you can about the facts of that situation. Here's proof that they did this, and this, and this. And if you can, get some backup documentation from your doctor and therapist about how you were harmed. In the description, I'm going to put some more things about how to win a hostile workplace claim. And that's going to touch on some things that I haven't covered here because, like I said, severe and pervasive to the point of being abusive is just one thing we have to prove to win our hostile workplace claim. But I wanted to talk about this aspect because what I found is if you document this kind of stuff, then even if you don't win your hostile workplace claim, it can bump up your damages on the claims you do win and get you better compensation. It helped me get the max on my failure to accommodate claim. So I hope it can help you too. Happy Halloween, guys. Hope you get to enjoy some of your favorite candy. I'm about to enjoy some of mine. I'll see you guys next time. Till then, take care and hang in. Fight smart and hang in. Reese's. Yeah.